What's up, everyone? My name is Colby, or as I'm better known as on Twitch, Instagram, and here on YouTube, Serial Killer 02. And in today's video, I am taking a break from doing the unboxings for the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, which, if you haven't checked those out yet and you want to, I will put a link right up here. That way you can check that out. But I got this game for my wife, and I have really been excited about it. We are really big Cthulhu fans, and we missed out on the Kickstarter for this game, and I was able to pick everything up for a really good price. And so I got everything but the big monsters. So today I wanted to unbox the base game for Cthulhu Death May Die. And I will do other unboxings for this game as well, but there is a lot to this game. So I wanted to go ahead and get the base game unboxed. That way you all could see it. So with that being said, if this is your first time here, thank you for stopping by. If you enjoy yourself, please hit that like and the subscribe button and hit that bell. That way you know whenever I put more content out. And my goal is to put out more content than I have in the past. And so hopefully I can keep doing that. But again, please hit that like and that subscribe button. That really helps me out. And yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the base game for Cthulhu Death May Die. So let's go ahead and start off by taking a look at the outside of the box. The box itself is 12.5 inches by 12.5 inches, and it is 5 inches deep. And as you can tell, the artwork on the box is dark. It looks really good. They used some UV printing on the symbol, and really cool thing is if you can see in the eyes, they are actually like a silver UV printing, so they glow whenever they get into light. And so as I said before, all of the artwork on the sides of the box are the same as the top. And then when you flip it over, you will find a lot of information for the itself. So go ahead, take a look at that. If I can focus, there we go. So starting up here, you've got just a little saying. It says the ritual is nearly complete. The unspeakable old ones will enter our world. You can't stop it. You have to destroy them. And so just really cool, all of the detail and everything they put into the game. Down here it shows that it's for 1 to 5 players, 14 and up, and 90 to 120 minutes. And then the information here, it says an ancient apocalyptic cult has nearly summoned a great old one into our world. Its devastating arrival is imminent. Now what? Cthulhu Death May Die is an action-packed cooperative board game for 1 to 5 players. To defeat the eldritch horrors from out of space and time, you must embrace madness and work together. You'll need to uncover and solve the mysteries of up to 6 different episodic stories, using your unique combination of skills and insanities, fighting a wide array of terrible monsters from across the mythos. Then you must disrupt the ritual just long enough to make the Elder One vulnerable and kill it dead. It's probably a one-way trip, but you're up for it, right? So it's really cool that they put that, and as you can see, there's really not too much to put together for the game to be able to start playing a game. And so that's really nice. That's one thing me and my wife really like about this game, because a lot of our games take 30 to 40 minutes to put together or just to get set up so we can start playing. And with a 4-year-old son, it's hard for us to be able to. So it's really nice that it's pretty easy and simple to set up. Then over here in the corner, you've got the name at the top, and then it shows you all of the different survivors that come in the box, as well as all of the monsters. And then down here are all of the components. And as you can tell, there is a lot. So, I mean, 45 highly detailed plastic miniatures, 1 rulebook, 17 double-sided tiles, 1 storyboard, 10 investigator boards, 64 Mythos cards, 90 discovery cards, and the list keeps going. I mean, there is a lot to this game. So with that being said, let's go ahead and flip the box back over, and we will take a look at what's inside. All right, so one of the first things you will see whenever you open up the box, you can get the top off here. And now that we have the top off the box, the first thing you will see are going to be the character sheets. And so I will go into just a little bit of detail on these so you kind of know what is on these sheets. And so start with up here is your insanity tracker. And so you start over here and you want to build insanity in this game. It's a very interesting game of, you know, just trying to keep everything level. But as you roll the dice, anytime you get a tentacle symbol, you will add sanity. And then there's different things that will cause you to gain more insanity. So as you do that, you will level this up. And then once you get to one of these spots where it's red, even if you have more insanity to add, you stop right there. And so it's kind of like a stop sign. So you stop there, and then from there, that is all of these here are your attributes or your skills. So like, for example, Adam here has Fueled by Madness. So you gain a die while your sanity is on one of these symbols. Now, whenever you get to one of these symbols, you can move up one of your skills. So say you wanted to move this up. Since you hit this red spot there, you can move it up. And so instead of gaining a die while you're on a sanity or on a red insanity spot, it says gain 1 die while your sanity is on a sanity spot, or 1 space back, so you can get it to where it's on this one or this one. Then it keeps moving up from there, and they get better and better. And so you have to decide which skills you're going to level up. Down here is your stress level, and you will use stress to get different discovery cards and use those abilities. And I'll kind of show that a little bit more whenever we get to the discovery cards. But the discovery cards, they have 2 sides to them. It's right has something, and then the left side has something. So whichever one you decide, it'll cost a certain amount of stress. And so with that, you would slide the card under whatever side you decide, and then you get extra perks from there. But I will kind of show that to you later on. But that is kind of what happens on these dashboards, and the characters are really cool. Like, you've got Adam, and then you've got Rasputin, which is probably my favorite, and every single one of these has information about each character on the back. And then from there, you've got Elizabeth. Then you've got Fatima, Ahmed, Borden, Ian. You've got the kid. Then you've got Morgan. And you have Sister Beth. And so those are all the heroes or characters that the players can play as for this game. And so with that being said, once you have looked at all of those characters, you will find the rule book for the game. And this rule book is awesome. Got a lot of great information. It's real easy to read. Pretty big text, as you can tell, and just it's got a lot of good pictures, and it also gives you examples on how to do a lot of this stuff. And so as you can tell, there are a lot of pictures. It gives you a lot of good information. Tells you exactly what you need to do and how everything works. And kind of like I was talking about, let me see if I can find it. Here are the discovery cards, and that's kind of how you slide it in there. And like I said, I'll show you that a little bit more in detail. But the rule book really isn't too long. It's 19 pages, 20 including the back, and the back is kind of a rules summary cheat sheet. And so there is that. Then under that, you will find the storyboard. And this is actually where the Great Old One will go, whichever one you choose to play as or to play against during the game. And so this is while they are in their own realm. And then as you can see, there's different areas that you put different cards. So this is where the episode card will go. This is where the episode monsters card goes to show you how much health they have and how many dice they roll, that kind of stuff. Then here's a spot for the Elder One's minions, and then the cards for the Elder Ones. And each Elder One comes with 4 cards, and you will go through those different cards as you play the game. So what happens is, as you're playing, different things will cause the Great Old One to move up. And that usually happens whenever you get 3 cards that have this symbol on it. Whenever you do that, it will cause... they're Mythos cards, and so whenever you get 3 of the Mythos cards that have that symbol, kind of like in the rulebook here, I know that's kind of hard to see, but right here, one of those symbols, when you get 3 of those, it will set up for the Great Old One to move up 1 spot. And so, as you can tell, that happens 3 times, then they move on to this red spot on the 4th time. When that happens, the Great Old One leaves their realm and comes into ours. And so now they are on the board with us. And so a lot can happen in this game. And it happens quick, too. And when you flip it over, you have got another picture of the cover for the box. Then under that, you will find the different tokens and the map boards. And so these map boards, it's really interesting how this works. So let me see if I can zoom in, and I will kind of explain this to you a little bit better. So right here, you will see this is 1 tile. And again, the detail is just awesome. But if you look here, you see these 2... That camera's moving just a little bit. I apologize. But you see the 2 arrows right here. That means that you can move between these 2. So say this tile was connected to this one right here. You would have 2 arrows pointing to each other, so you could go to the adjacent tile. If you don't have arrows pointing at each other, then that door is considered locked and you can't get through it, and you will not move through it. And so it's really cool how they set that up. And then right here, you will see that it has the number of the tile, and that will come in handy whenever you are trying to find the tiles you need to play the scenarios. Right here, you have got the health trackers, or the health tokens, and this is for 3 health. And then you have got tunnels. And these tunnels, one will be placed on one board, or one board, and then another one will be placed on another board. So if you move on to one on this board, you can transfer over to the other board, and it's like it's just one space. So it's kind of the same with stairs. That token will come up here in a little bit. Then you've got fire tokens, because what's a Cthulhu game without fire? And then these are the portal tokens, and that's where the different monsters will come out of on the board. So you'll flip over a card and it'll say to spawn cultists on the red portal. And so you would place them on that portal. But that kind of gives you an idea of what is on that sheet. And then the next token sheet we have is going to be more map boards. And then up here are the skills tokens. And those skills tokens are used for if you do get one of those discovery cards and you don't have a skill that the discovery card says that you gain, you are able to put that token on your board because you will gain that skill as long as you have that card. And so, like for marksman, you may attack a target 1 space away. So you're able to gain skills. But if you lose those discovery cards, which can happen, then you would take that away and you wouldn't have it anymore. So with that, this right here is the progression token for the storyboard. And once the Great Old One appears, you would put that progression token down to take place, because if it ever gets to here on the progression, then the game is over, you lose, the world is destroyed, and Cthulhu, or the Great Old One, has taken over the world. So there's a lot of things that go into this game, but it is just amazing how it works. And right under that, you will find the 1-point health tokens, more of the maps, and then this is the starting area for the heroes, or the playable characters. And then right here, again, you have more map tiles, and then you have the stairs that I was talking about earlier. And the interesting thing about all of these boards is, whoops, when you flip them over, there is something else on the other side. So you will have 16A and 16B, and both sides of the board are completely different and will do different things in the game. And so now that we've looked at all of the token sheets, let's go ahead and get to the fun part. So as you can tell, everything has its own space. One thing I love is this is each of the scenarios that you play through in the game. So right here is everything you need to play the first scenario. And so this says Season 1, Episode 1. And let me see if I can zoom in a little bit here so you can see what is going on here. So it says Blasphemous Alchemy, Season 1, Episode 1. What's worse than cultists? Cultists who have set the place on fire. Another night and another damn ritual to summon an elder god. If we blow up their labs, we can cause a lot of trouble for whatever it is they are summoning. And then it gives you all of the information for what is in this box. And the great thing is, this is everything you need to play the first scenario. So here are the discovery cards, and I will show you those on the player boards in just a second. And then here are the tokens for that scenario. And then here is the other information that you need. And this is kind of tells you everything you need to play. The scenario gives you that same little story that I just read. Shows that you have to disrupt the ritual, so destroy 4 of the 5 labs. And you have to deal 4 damage to each lab. And then when the Elder One advances, you place 1 fire token in each space that has the cultists and no fire. So it goes really quickly. So you have to extinguish, you get to extinguish fires. That's kind of one of the perks that the heroes get. You have to make a roll and remove 1 fire token in your space for each success. And then you have to destroy the equipment. And so that is what you do in the scenario. Here is what the enemies look like. And as you can see, these are the color of dice that each one will use. And so the fire vampire would get a green die and 2 black die. And it says when it attacks first, place a fire token in its space. And then it shows that it has 4 health. And then Bayaki says when it attacks, each cultist symbol allows also counts as a success, and it has 3 health. Because most of the time the dice, if it lands on a cultist symbol, it means nothing unless your card says that it does mean something. So those are the 2 cards, 2 of the cards that you will put on the board with you on that storyboard. And so there is that. Now let's go ahead and take a look at that discovery card that I was talking about. Let me go ahead and set that up, and I will show you how that works. So now let's go back and take a look at our friend Adam here. So with these cards, you will see that Adam has discovery card right here and discovery card right here. So with these cards, you can search in the spot that you're in if there is nothing else around you or no enemies in the same spot. So whenever you do that and you would get one of these discovery cards, flip it over and it gives you some text. And so let's go ahead and take a look at this one. This is a pretty good example. So it's got a condition over here and a condition over here. And then right here in the center, it tells you how you get either of these. So on the left-hand side, it says guilty conscience. I should have done something. So you get nothing for that side. And sometimes that plays in your favor. Sometimes it doesn't. It just depends on what's going on. And then on the right-hand side, you've got Margot, a feral student. While you have her gain 1 level in brawling, you cannot have both Margot and the professor as companions. Discard 1. So what that means is you can have Margot. And if you do, it says right here, you may take 2 stress to claim the feral student. So you would move your stress up 2. But if you get to here, say you're right here and you have to move up 2, you can only move up 1, you won't be able to take any more stress, and so you won't be able to get Margot. And so you have to be careful with your stress meter. Because what Margot does is she gives you brawling. And as you can tell, Adam does not have the skill brawling. So he would take the skill token that I showed earlier that is on the token sheets and put it down here. He now has brawling as long as he has Margot with him. But right down here, as you can see, Margot only has 1 health. So Adam decides to go with Margot. He moves up to stress, and then he slides Margot right there. So now he has got Margot with him. So say a cultist attacks him and he gets 2 damage. Well, Margot would take 1 of those damage first, and now she's gone. So he would lose that brawling ability, and then he would lose a health point. So that's what happens, and then he would lose the token for brawling. So that's what happens if you don't have the skill. Now, if we look at Rasputin, you will see he already has brawling. So if he had Margot, then he would gain an extra level of brawling just because he has her. He wouldn't have to wait to get to one of these. So say Rasputin was already here, and he moves up to, you have 2 free rerolls when attacking a target in your space. Well, him and Margot go through, he takes out a room, and then he goes into the next room, and a cultist hits him for 1 point of damage. Rasputin wouldn't take the damage, it would be Margot, and so now she's gone, so he would move his token back. So that's kind of the way that the discovery cards work. And so it's really interesting how everything can work and goes together in this game. And the great thing about it is when you are done with that level, you take everything from this box, it goes back into the box, and everything is together for the next time you want to play that level. So with that, let's go ahead and go back to looking at what's in the box. So once you get done with an episode, all you do is put it back in order, and then you can grab the next one and keep moving on. And so it's really cool how they did that. And each one has different pictures on it and actually tells you what season it is and what episode. And so it's really nice the way they have, the way they have all of this set up. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start looking at everything else that is in the box. So as you will see, you've got Cthulhu and Hastur as the big old, as the big old ones. And so, or the elder ones, excuse me. And from there, if you look on the back of the box, it tells you exactly what comes in each box. So I will go ahead and show you all of these. I'm not going to show you all of the different cards, but I will show you the models whenever we start looking at all of the models. And then the same with Hastur. Each one has its own abilities, and it is mean. And so as you can see, Haster disciples, you've got Haster, which is a beast, and then the Elder One stage cards and the minion card. These are the two that will go onto the storyboard. And then you got the Mythos cards. And those are the cards that will have the different symbols that will cause the Elder One to actually progress down the track. So there are those. And then we come to all of the fun stuff. So take this off, and here is the patient medical files. This is the insanity cards. And these insanity cards, every single player will get one of these at the start of the game. And like this one, it says codependency. Start of the game, name a codependent investigator. And so you have to pick an investigator that's by you or that you're going to be dependent on. It says if your codependent is alive but not in your space, take 2 stress. Then move either of you to the other's space. Enemies do not follow. And so it's one of those things, like each one of these will deter you and cause you to have problems. And so it's really interesting that that is part of the game. And those are picked at random, so you don't get to pick what you have. And so it's different every time you play. Right here on the right-hand side, you will find 5 different base clips, and those are for the heroes, so you can tell them apart. And then you have got dice. And as you can see, the dice have different symbols on them. Right here are the tentacles that I was talking about for insanity. And so if you roll one of those, you will have to gain insanity on your dashboard. Then here is the cultist symbol, and that just kind of will be used for different things depending on what character you are playing. So you might end up rolling and it might be good for you, or you might end up rolling and it might do nothing. Right here, this is a hit. Blanks do nothing. And as you can see, each side has different things. So every time you get a tentacle, you will take some insanity. And so you want to be careful with everything that you do. So with that being said, now we are to the models. So let me get set up so we can take a look at the models a little bit better, and I will show those to you. And another little thing I wanted to show you real quick before we get too far is they actually added this into the box to show you where everything goes. And so I thought that was really nice that they did that. So now I am going to go ahead and show you, like, these all stack up on top of each other and have all of the different models. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and show you each model one by one so you can see the detail. So to start off, let's go ahead and take a look at the different heroes that are in the base game. So here is Adam. As you can see, he is holding his shotgun. The detail in these is really cool. I really like the way that these models came out. So with that, after Adam, you will find Rasputin. And he's got, his hands are on fire. I mean, this guy is a beast. He looks awesome and just very, very cool. Again, the detail's not just really crazy like some games, but it's enough, and I think it looks awesome for the way that this, or for what this game is and what it is about. I think it fits the theme very, very well. So after Rasputin, we have got Elizabeth. And again, just the detail is really cool. I mean, you can see it's pretty close to the artwork on the dashboard. And so they did a really good job with keeping true to the artwork for the game. And after Elizabeth, you will find Fatima. And so with Fatima, it's the same kind of thing. I mean, you've got really nice detail. The artwork is beautiful, and then the model is just awesome as well. So there is Fatima. And then next, we have got Ahmed. And here is his artwork. And then here is the model. And so again, like I said, I think they stayed really true to the artwork they were using for this game. Then here you have got Borden, and here is her model. And so I think it looks awesome. These are going to be so much fun to paint. And so here is Ian. Again, just really cool model. And then next, we have got one that I think is a little twisted, and that is the kid. And so, as you can tell, her hand is on fire, and just kind of creepy and very Cthulhu-ish. Then this one's probably one of my favorites. I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan, and so I love that they put this in here. So here is Morgan. Whoop. And as you can see, they've, again, detail is just awesome. And I think they did very good with it. And then the last one here is Sister Beth. And so there she is. And so those are the heroes within the game. So now let's go ahead and take a look at some of the beasts that are in the game. And so to get started, I will go ahead and show you these first. These are the tentacle tokens, and this is what you put on your dashboards. And so as you can see, tokens are, if you know the game The Others, Seven Sins, they are pretty close to that. And so you get different colored ones because it goes with the base that you put onto your models. And so you get a lot of those tokens. I believe you get 5 of each. That way you can put them on your board in different places. So you get orange, blue, purple, red, and green. And so there's there's a lot of those. I believe there's 30 of them. And so you will use those on all of your character sheets. And so now that we have looked at those, let's go ahead and get to my favorite part, and that is the monsters. So to start with, we will go ahead and take a look at the hunting horror. And again, these models are just wicked. I really like what they have done with the enemies in this game and just the detail that they put into them. I mean, it is just awesome the way that these look. And the stance that it has and the way that it's just sitting on its tail. If you look, you can see all the different little teeth, and just everything they did to these models is awesome. And then this guy is crazy looking. And I believe this is the Bayaki. And so you get 2 of these guys. And again, just the detail in these models is just awesome and crazy. And so those 2 are 2 of my favorite models. I really like the way that they turned out. And with that, let's go ahead and take a look at the next one. So to start with, I'll go ahead and show you. You get 2 different cultists. And so you get 2 different sculpts, which is really nice because then it's not a lot of the same thing on the board. And so you get 5 of each of these to put onto the board. So there are the cultists that are trying to summon the Great Old One. And then from there, you have got this little guy. And this is the Deep One. And you get 5 of these. And again, like I said, the detail on these is just amazing. I love the way that these. And then after that, you have got a ghoul, which is a werewolf kind of looking creature. And so now let's go ahead and look at the really fun ones. And that's going to be a few of my favorite ones. Let's go ahead and take a look at those real quick. And now we're starting to get into the bigger, nastier monsters. So first off, we have got the fire vampire. And again, just huge and nasty. I mean, these things are big. And so you get 2 of the fire vampires. And then here is Shoggoth. So, I mean, as you can see, it's just loaded with detail. They've just done such a good job with these models. I am very, very impressed with the entire thing. Now, here is one of my favorites. And I cannot say the name. Chthonian, something like that. But, I mean, again, just the detail on it is just incredible. And so those are all the different monsters that come in the base game. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the models that come in the Elder One boxes. So first, let's start with Hastur. I thought I'd go ahead and kind of show you what comes in the boxes. So when you open it up, you will find same thing as kind of the scenarios. You get all of the different cards that you need, the cards for Hastur, and then you get the tokens. And then the great thing about it is they made a little slot for all of the tokens to go in, and then the cards fit right back in here. And so you always keep everything together in its own little box. So that makes it really nice. And here you will find Hastur's disciples. And so, again, the models, really nice. I love the detail that they put into them, especially for the game. And like right here, you can see there is one of Hastur's disciples, and there's one of the elder signs. So, again, going back to Hastur's disciples, the detail is awesome. They look great. And then you have Hastur itself. And I mean, this thing is crazy. So this is the size of the characters that you play as. So this gives you an idea of how big this sucker is. And I mean, like I said, the detail in these models is incredible. This right here is, I mean, it's one of the best looking models I've seen in a long time. And so there is Hastur. So with that being said, let's take a look at Cthulhu's box. So now the same kind of thing with Cthulhu. When you open it up, you will find everything you need to play against Cthulhu. And the really cool thing is each of the great old ones can be played in any scenario. And sometimes it makes the scenario even harder. So when you take that off, again, there's a spot for the tokens. Now, looking here, you will see that here is the star spawn. And again, the detail is just amazing. I mean, again, huge models. Like, it's just nuts. And so there is the star spawn. Now, last but not least, we come to Cthulhu. And again, Cthulhu is huge. So I'll grab one of these again. And this is what goes on the board. And this is what moves across the storyboard. So, I mean, it's just crazy how big these are. And they've really made it feel like it's a gigantic monster. And so, yeah, I mean, with that, just these models, everything about this game is awesome. And so with that being said, and that is it for the core box of Cthulhu Death May Die. So let's take it back up top, and I will give you my impressions on everything in the box. And there it is. That is the base game for Cthulhu Death May Die. And like I said, all of these models are... the models are awesome. The components are fantastic. This is probably one of the best looking CMON games that I have ever seen. I've got a lot of CMON games, and I think it looks incredible. Everything looks great in it. The rules are real simple to understand, and it's easy to pick up and put everything together to be able to play. It doesn't take long to set up at all. And so it's really nice the way they did everything. In the next couple of videos, I will do unboxings of the stretch goals as well as season 2 box and different things like that. So yeah, with that, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like and that subscribe button, and also hit the bell. So let's talk about the game. What are your favorite models that you saw in the base game? Do you have this game? Is this a game that you are wanting? Just let me know. Let's talk about it, and let's have a good conversation about board gaming. So until the next video, thank you all so much. Hope you have a great night. Happy gaming, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.